The House will be in order.
Today is the last full committee hearing for one of our most long-standing and active members, the gentleman from Hawaii, Congressman Neil Abercrombie.
Well, you get your exercise, Randy.
I just want to express how much I deeply appreciate all the help that he's given me and helping me with my constituents.
Aloha. Howdy. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Congressman, how are you?
Nice to see you.
You know, I don't know if you remember, I used to work for Congressman Roybal.
I do.
I was the staff director of Select Committee on Aging.
They are different, though. Get that out of my face.
This is how I use the IQ.
It's just eligible? Yes, because there are people who are waiting.
Notice that we have batches.
For the people of the House. I appreciate your comments, by the way, because that's how I feel. You know, I have such good friends and such a great collegial relationship with everybody in the House, Republican or Democrat.
This is good. Mr. Ortiz is saying that. From Texas. Well, this is what you call it, right?
Yeah, it's a combination of orchids and Miley, which,
50 wounds he carried. Good man.
Every month, committee, great wounds.
Every month he's paid out of a great box in Aqaba. And yet he's a poor man. Why? Because he's like a river to his people.
Yeah, we need your voice.
Today's fantasy day.
Your parole officer is online too.
Oh, okay. Right. If I get hungry, I can.
You can eat.
Yeah.
Who's this fella?
Randy Obata.
You tell him I represent Davy Crockett's old district.
That's right.
So I need a coonskin cap on, really.
That's right. It's come to this. First you get Davy Crockett, then you get John Tanner.
Yeah, it's going downhill.
Going right downhill, just like that.
This bill today, it's coming up today under Speaker Pelosi and Steny Hoyer, but the last time it passed, it was under Tom DeLay and Speaker Hastert. So, you know, and Lord knows if you're going to have ideological opposites and so on, I suppose that Tom and Steny and Nancy and Denny, you know, certainly fill that category, right?
Ayes. Mr. Abercrombie votes aye.
Are the members present that are not recorded? The ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.
I'd like to think that part of that was as a result of my relationships with all the members on the basis of being straightforward and always respectful of what the House is supposed to be doing, which is legislate on behalf of everybody's interests. Thank you very, very much. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity, and of course, all three papers, to tell you the truth, I read them, you know, from cover to cover. I think they all do a great job. Everyone's got their own distinct personality, if you will, and take on politics, but it's endlessly fascinating. And I think in the end, all of us love politics. All of us in love with what we do, and I think that's one of the reasons why the friendships are able to be formed. There's a certain quality of if I can transpose from Shakespeare a little bit, we band of brothers and sisters, we happy few. There's a certain quality of camaraderie and recognition of one another. All the men and women that serve in the House of Representatives have this affinity for each other, regardless of party and regardless of background or philosophy. That having been a member of the House, there is a connection that's unbreakable and an affection and a bond that is, I think, instructive as to what democracy with a small d is all about.
We've heard a lot about the the gridlock here in Washington, that the partisanship over the last few years.
Yes.
Have you seen that change over time?
I've seen it, I've observed it, but it hasn't happened to me in the sense that the committee responsibilities that I've had, like in armed services, I emphasize to my members, Republican and Democrat, that this is that that we make life and death decisions. I think I've been a participant in and certainly an advocate of subsuming any personal political interests and ideological conflicts to the nation's interests. And I've been fortunate to be associated with people who had that same outlook.
But the thing that has really struck me, I served on his subcommittee for a long time, and both when he was ranking member and chairman, and he, along with these other chairmen of these subcommittees, ranking members of these subcommittees, have really done a great job of keeping this committee bipartisan. And Neil has been one of the leaders in that effort, and I commend you for that, Neil. You've really bent over backwards to do that, as has our chairman with the whole committee.
Congressman Abercrombie, it's no secret that you and I differed fundamentally on some pretty important issues. But our conversations were always issues-based, never personal, and always focused on doing what was right for the men and women of the Army as rapidly as we could. And you can't ask for anything better than that. So although I never quite thought I'd say this, I will miss you. Good luck to you.
The chief and I had a chance to stop by his office yesterday. We weren't sure if he would be with us here today. We got the obligatory chocolate-covered macadamia nuts, and Ranking Member McKeon was absolutely right. I never knew what Neil was going to say, but I knew what he said. When he said it, he believed it, and it was not couched in partisan politics. It was couched in a belief as to what the right thing was to do for our men and women in uniform. And that, to me, is the highest tribute that any member can have attributed to him or her. So, Neil, we'll miss you. God bless you for all you've done, and thank you for being such a great friend to our Army and indeed all the services.
On our committee, the House Armed Services Committee, Neil's hallmark has been making sure our troops have the equipment they need to protect our country and keep it safe. And he's been an outstanding member of the committee, an exceptional chairman, and a leader in the Air and Land Forces Subcommittee. I'm really proud of what he has done. His leadership helped prompt the Pentagon to speed up delivery of life-saving body armor and the MRAP vehicles to our forces who are on the front line. I've been honored to serve with Neil, and I will greatly miss his wise counsel, his good humor, his loyal friendship, most of all. And I know that Congressman Abercrombie will continue to be a forceful and effective advocate on behalf of Hawaii's needs. He leaves with the knowledge and the satisfaction of having written a bright page in the history of the United States military. We thank you again, Neil Abercrombie.
And with that, I want to conclude, Mr. Chairman, by saying that every committee in this Congress is important, but only this committee, only the Armed Services Committee deals with life and death issues. Every decision we make has the direct implication of life and death. The Gold Star wife that is here today is living three-dimensional testimony to that responsibility and obligation that we have. And I want to say that as I take my leave, that every moment of my service on this committee has been devoted to that obligation and that responsibility, as I know every member has when he or she takes his seat on this committee. We try to exercise our best judgment to meet the strategic necessities of this nation, and that we have first and foremost in our hearts and minds the fighting men and women of this nation. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I bid you, the members, and the House of Representatives, the People's House, fond and deep and faithful aloha.